I gotta tell you a story.
Yes.
I got a good friend of mine who's been sober. I mean, in a program, sober.
Okay, let's just talk. What does sober mean? I mean, he's off booze. Is that?
Yeah,
He doesn't
definitely.
drink.
He's off everything. He's off seeking substances to find pleasure. Supposedly, that's not you.
Okay.
But really, the drug of choice for him was alcohol.
Sure.
But it was also everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But it was many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So this person's endocannabinoid system has been depleted, ignored,
Mm-hmm.
deprived. And he was taking some pharmaceutical antidepressant. I think it was called Wellbutrin or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. Or whatever it was. He was describing what he was getting from it, and it wasn't.
So he's getting another drug, but it's from the doctor.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
It's a controlled substance.
Sure.
But it's not an illicit substance. Whatever,
Sure.
regardless. I surely didn't want to compromise his sobriety.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought, I've had my own opinions that I didn't share. But when he told me about what he's going through with this Wellbutrin,
Mm-hmm.
what it did to him and how he leveled him off and all this, and I said, well, gosh, there's hemp growing everywhere around here. There's a lot of products from hemp that might give you some relief. You never even experiment, even tried it? No, I never have. I said, well, try this gummy. I got gummies. I'm going to give you some gummies. Just eat a quarter. Just eat a quarter gummy and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not going to be any worse than any of the stuff you're getting right now. There's no side effects that are going to be unpleasant
Mm-hmm.
based on what I'm telling
Sure.
you, my experience. It's metabolizes cleanly in your body. You're not going to have a hangover. It's not going to lead you into this chemical addiction.
Sure.
It's just going to change it's going to reset you maybe. I mean, what have you got to lose? You're this just depressed that you're taking Wellbutrin. At least try this.
Mm-hmm.
He tried it. He called me up the next day. He says it was unbelievable. He laughed, never laughed. His face hurt from laughing. And he felt a new perspective on things. He was extremely happy. And then he says, is this stuff like THC? And I said, well, technically it is THC Delta-8, so yeah, it is THC. And there was that moment of silence that we both recognized that maybe this compromised his whole sobriety, his whole program.
But he doesn't have that question when he, for instance, like this is the thing, right? I truly believe the biggest benefit of hemp or cannabis is that it gives you the power to make the decision for your body. Now, just because a doctor prescribes you something, which may have, look, you can have ketamine prescribed these days, right? I mean, you can just look at it. We don't even need to get into the whole, Oxycontin, and you certainly get an effect, right? There is an effect. If you eat a lot of Oxycontin, you get an effect, right? You'll be nodding out sometimes if you take too much, right? Now, if the doctor said to you, hey, it's okay for you to take this, and you're nodding out because you're taking too much, are you breaking your sobriety? Of course you are. Of course you are, right? It's not like, oh, well, actually, the doctor gave me a pass and said, hey,
Well, the idea is that your own will isn't the determining factor. Someone who's a professional has told you what to take,
Of
and
course
you're
it-
following directions.
Sorry. You cannot have it say, hey, this person outside of my body here told me to take these things and this doesn't affect my sobriety. Of course it does. Of course it does. I mean, at least that's my take. I mean, you tell me what you think. I think just because a doctor gives you something and you get fucked up from it, doesn't mean that you're not sober. Of course, like it doesn't mean that you're not. It doesn't mean that you've broken your. It does mean that you've broken your sobriety. If you wanted to say, I took a Delta-8 gummy and I broke my sobriety, but by the way, I was taking a bunch of stuff from the doctor that sometimes I feel funky from, but that didn't break my sobriety over there, but this thing did.
It's not my job to really get into this person's head. He's a big boy, you know. He's coping with it, and I've talked to him since, and he said pretty much what you said. Hey, the stuff I was getting from the doctor, I mean, this is tame, and this was effective, and it was a great experience. So
I think so, and I'd like to know from each and every one of you.
What do you
I
think?
mean, I have grown from your Irish, you're Irish man, fresh off the plane, coming to the United States, bottle of Jameson in one hand, 20 pack of cigarettes in the other, and eventually I just got to the point through the helps of psychedelics, mushrooms, and plenty of others that really allowed me to be more introspective with myself, allowed me to ask the questions for myself, and I realized I was like, why am I doing this damage to my body? And I think there's moderation in everything, and if you don't have the willpower to know when to say no, I think that it is important that you regain that willpower. So I mean, if someone's been sober for 20 years and they never want to say like, I'm never going to do anything again, I don't know. I think it's a very dangerous. I think it's a dangerous place to just give blanket statements for anything.
Well, I'm not going to judge somebody's desire to stick to some kind of program or whatever for whatever reason. That's not the thing.
Sure, I don't want to do that either, right? I don't want to do that either.
But the thing is, it's interesting, is this person was taking this deliberately to treat something. It wasn't like this person was just trying to have a good time. It was like, I'm going to see if this is going to help.
Yeah, I think this has been something that's really opened my eyes a lot as well to just the need of a lot of people. I mean, I've gotten a lot of feedback from, like for instance, the capsules. The capsules are more for people who really want to dial in what is right for their medical needs more often than not. Like people I've noticed with the capsules, people are very much regimented with the capsules. They'll do like 10 milligrams, 20 milligrams, they drink it in the morning with their coffee. I have some older people who are in their 70s and 80s, and I mean, they're giving them out to their friends, their older friends. They have arthritis, and I mean, again, this is all anecdotal, right? So don't, I'm just giving you experiences what I've been told. We're not medical physicians, we can't give medical advice, we're not prescribing.
But if you're going to the gym and you take a nano capsule before your workout, I think you're going to enjoy it. It definitely will.
Absolutely, and it's like everybody has their need. I mean, I have on the Al's gummy side. I mean, I feel that it can definitely be geared towards some more recreational users, but at the same time, I mean, there's other people who take those specifically to help with their pain.
How about antidepressant?
Yeah, I mean, look, again, it's like, I think to each their own, and I think every person here, just to re-emphasize it, we have to be very careful here because we're not doctors and we can't say that for anybody. But it gives you the power, right? So for instance, with your friend here, he made a decision. He feels better from it. I don't think it's like a bad thing, right? And I don't think he should feel guilty. I don't think you should feel guilty for that. And I think cannabis can be very, alcohol, I mean, can be very self-destructive. And not only to that, but alcohol for me turns into, I don't care about myself, I don't care about my surroundings. It's a very selfish thing when you get drunk. And I've never had a time when I woke up in the morning and said, whoa, that was a great idea I had last night. Whereas if I'll say that on Delta-8, I get so creative. And I'm thinking about Al's TV. I'm thinking we could do a video for this. I think we could do this other video here. Why don't we do this other scheme here to get more people trying D8? And I just can't. It's sort of like CBD, right? Would you say the same thing if somebody was sober and they took some CBD? Would they be saying, oh, I don't know, or some full spectrum CBD?
Well, that was my thing. That's why I suggested it to this person. It just slipped my mind that it was THC Delta-8. I forgot the THC part, I just kind of let it slip my mind. But it was really effective, and I think that this was...
And it helped.
Yeah, but we don't know what kind of guilt he might be feeling when he's thinking about it.
Well, look, you tell us. You let us know. What do you think?
What do you think?
Do you think you're breaking your sobriety if you try Delta-8? We could even expand it. To marijuana. But I think this is even less than marijuana.
Right? The determining factor if something's if you're addicted is what is. It's not how much you take, or it's what do you do with that.
Sure.
So how does it affect you? If you get strung out, and the next thing you know, you're buying it, you're looking for it everywhere, and you're just You got all
It's
these.
such a funny thing, right? Because it's like, you know, yeah, hey, I heard that.
I'm
Heard
pretty
that.
obsessed
Heard
about
that.
my gummies.
Heard
I love my
heard about
cat.
that fiend
Where's my
over there.
cat?
They've been buying products from everybody, right? It's like
Hey.
they're going home eating edibles every night.
Everybody has a different propensity for addiction.
Sure. No, I don't believe
I'm
I
obsessed
don't
with
think.
my gummies.
I don't think. Yes, we are obsessed about
I'm
owls,
obsessed.
and I think that a lot of the people who enjoy owls are very much obsessed with owls. But I think that it's very difficult to say that. I don't really believe. We can get into that another day. I don't think you can really be addicted to marijuana. Although I will say that there's people who are. There are some people that I think are dependent on it, but I think that's a story for another day. So let's leave it there. We want to hear from all of you. Let us know what you think. Are you breaking your sobriety? If you don't drink alcohol and you've been sober, and you smoke a little bit of weed, or you take some Delta-8, are you breaking your sobriety? I'm saying no. What do you say, Steve?
I think it's up to the individual to determine, did I break? Because if you think you
We need a yes or no answer, Steve.
I think yes.
You think you are breaking your
I
sobriety?
think you kind of are.
You think you are?
If that's your whole game, is that I'm not taking any substances to make me feel good the rest of my life, unless it's prescribed by somebody. Well,
That's
I
ridiculous.
didn't
It's
say
just ridiculous. Hey, you know what? Guess what? So you're basically saying to me, well, hey, if you made the choice yourself, you'd be breaking your sobriety. But however, if you went and you had a doctor say to you, hey, this Delta-8 gummy's going to be good for you, you'd be like, oh, well, that's okay.
It's because it's no longer your will. You're turning the will over to somebody else.
It's
That's the
ridiculous!
whole-
I hate it! I hate it! I can't look. This is the whole point, right? Oh, well, guess what? Here's another one for you. Oh, you had that side effect there?
wait.
Here's
The
another
truth-
one for
the
you.
truth is, if
You have
somebody,
no power, though.
No,
You
but
have the choice.
People should lose their sobriety, and they should start over from day one because it's good for your ego, just to check it. Oh, I got 30 years of being sober. I'm a complete loser in every other aspect of my life. I got that going for me. Lose that and work on
Well,
everything.
okay. Well, what about this? What about this? Guess what? You're basically going back on what you're saying there, because I think that you're after saying, hey, this guy got relief. He's taking something where
Oh,
he
it's
needs
great.
relief. But
He
you're
needs-
basically saying, well, hey, you got to go back to square one again. Don't eat that Delta-8 gummy.
No, I'm
You
not
make
saying that.
You have that Delta-8 gummy. You're going back to sobriety, and guess
No.
what? You're gonna now. You take that gummy tomorrow. You're starting day one again.
If your life's not working, you might need a new brand of sobriety, and this could be the
The
entrance.
new brand of sobriety.
That's right.
Okay, so we'll leave it there.